To prepare the hair, we've used some volume mousse. The hair is now prepared and the sectioning pattern is as follows. I've now released the nape section and I'm going to deep point cut this square. I've now released the side sections and I'm going to continue cutting through square. I will now check for the balance. Now that this section is completed, we will isolate the section away. I've now released the triangle section at the back of the head. With this section, we will work a profile section and cut short to long from the top to the bottom. We will reduce the weight by using this cutting technique. Each section has been over-directed to the previous cut section. This will help us to build weight towards the outside of each side of the section. This cutting technique is repeated on the other side. Once again, I will check for the balance and then isolate those sections away. We will now work on the top area, which is going to create our internal layering. Working a centre profile section, this is going to be disconnected roughly 2 to 3 centimetres longer than the previous cut section. All sections are over-directed to the centre profile section and cut on the guideline. Now that this section has been completed, we will isolate it and release the other sections that we had previously isolated. I will now release the side sections for cutting. I'm leaving out the front panel to maintain the weight. The rest of the sections are taken on the diagonal, taken over my fingers, and I will brick cut through to release some of the weight. As we work this brick cutting technique, we work just through the side sections and release sections each 1 centimetre. These sections are brick cut but to maintain weight in the perimeter, we stop at roughly 2 to 3 centimetres above the ends length of the hair. This technique is then repeated exactly the same on the other side. We will now move on to our fringe section. The fringe section is cut in 4 panels. The first section is point cut, square, roughly halfway between the nose. When this is dry, it should come so that you can see just through the eyes. I've now released the second section. This section is combed in natural fall and we will slide cut out to slightly longer than the previous cut section. The third section is released and this is cut exactly the same as we cut our first section, point cut square. The last section, the top of the triangle, is now released and cut the same as our second section. So slide cut to the same length. This is going to create a nice textured finish throughout the fringe. To begin with, we will rough dry the hair. We will then use a round brush to get a nice smooth finish. Once we've finished drying the hair, we will start to personalise the hair using a slicing technique. We will start at the base of our section and elevate higher. This will reduce weight, creating a seamless effect at the same time taking off the corner. This technique will also help us to slightly blend our disconnection. Through the back area, we will need to deep point the underneath section. This will create a slightly more blended and textured feeling. Once the texturizing is completed, we will start to work on our perimeter line. This will now be detailed to create a softer effect around the fringe and base line. Once we've completed the detailing in the perimeter line, we will now use our irons through the mid-lengths and ends to create a smooth finish. Once we've completed the ironing, we will now use a texture cream to place through the mid-lengths and ends to create movement and texture. This is also rubbed through into the root area to create some volume. By using these texture creams, it will help us to create our modern finish. The fringe is long, but it is created to give a see-through finish, and our texture creams help us to do this. I hope you like the new looks for the Fashion Cuts 2016, and I hope that you like to use them in your salons.